1140 The Fan.
Talkin Money!
Well, alrighty then. We're back to Talkin Money with Jeff Tarbell.
Yeah, how you doing? I turned the microphones off during the break, and then I'm talking. Yeah. Talking to Grant there, he's like, you get to turn the microphone on, dummy. How are you? Our final segment of the day, 339-1140. So, John, I guess we'll pick one of our winners here off the 44-1140, off the text line. I had asked early in the show today, as I'm getting prepared to move out of my existing house and move into something else that needs some work. Obviously, I wouldn't have to do anything to it. That's not true. I've got 3 daughters. It doesn't have enough bedrooms, so we're gonna have to do a little bit of work there. So, my text question off the 44-1140 was, if you have to pick kind of one thing, and that's really what we're trying to do in this house is let's try to be reasonable about where we put our money and what's that item you say, okay, look I know that's a little expensive, but I want to put my money there, and then I'll make up some other places. Because you can always come and do things later, Right. I mean, nobody said swimming pool, which surprises me. And I'd like to do a swimming pool, but it is not on the top of my list. I obviously got to get in the house. I think for us, probably creating that kitchen great room and making that kind of the focal point in this house. It's a single-story house, and it's all jacked up now and cut up, so we have to kind of take some stuff out of the way. But you look at, when you're entertaining, even in our existing house now where we have the outdoor patio, and everything seems to focal around the kitchen, right? You have the big center island, you have a big bar, or the kind of the sit-up bar there, and everybody seems to kind of hang around the kitchen and the outdoor bar and the TV, and you kind of end up in this, the same circle of 50 feet by 50
right.
feet, and so I think that we like to have a lot of people over and enjoy ourselves. That probably will be our focal point. Is what do you create? And then you have the question is, okay, so you're going to create a kitchen, and like I mentioned earlier, for us to put in whatever those things are, $5,000 or $7,000 Viking stove or something would be a $5,000 or $7,000 flipping waste. I would rather have a $4,000 microwave because we just don't cook. So, but it's one of those things where, okay, are you putting it in because, like my brother-in-law loves to cook, or are you putting it in because you think the next buyer of your house demands that at whatever price level you are, in the thing. So some of it you do for resale. Some of you do for your own. I think there's got to be something in between there. You put something in that's reasonable, but not. Right. It doesn't. We don't get any money out of that. I'd rather have a nice big bar, or a center island type of a thing, and just do something different. So, but we got a lot of texts. I think I'm going to have to go with. It's funny. This came up a couple times with this. Yeah, there you go. The plumbing in the master bedroom. And there seems to be some kind of trend, putting your laundry room and laundry connections in your master bedroom. There's two people that suggested that. So one of them is a plumber, and one of them is the person who suggested first. I'm going to pick both of them. Marge, if you'll pick out both those two, the one that says this might sound strange, and then up above is I'm a plumber. Those two, not because I think that it's the greatest idea ever, because I haven't heard of that.
All right.
I mean, it's just. John was saying during the break, he said, I don't even like having, the idea of a laundry room upstairs. And this house is a single story, but I'm with you. It's like I always freaked out. Like, I'm pumping water into a big bucket that's up above the stairs, and they have this little tiny pan that's supposed to catch all the water. I'm like, I'm not sure that's going to work. Yeah. From a guy who pumped 4,000 gallons of spa water into his house, probably I can see why you're a little
afraid of water.
It's a little jumpy on that. So we'll pick those two, and we'll send them out something fun, maybe like a little Jim Boys gift pack or something. We'll figure it out and get it out to them. Off the text line, high-efficiency heating and air system with dual-pane windows for sure. For sure.
Absolutely.
You talk about just flat out getting your money back? Yep. No question about it. How long can you go in escrow before you cancel your escrow on a purchase? You can go as long as you want, with a little star next to it. Read your contract. Your contract probably says that after 17 days, your deposit becomes non-refundable. But hey, if you go all the way to the end of an escrow and you've lost your job, or something to that effect, or you just decide, this is just scaring the living hell out of me. I don't want to do this. You may walk away from $1,000 or $2,000 or $5,000 deposit, but that generally is your liquidated damages. That is your risk of exposure.
Right.
You can do it. People won't be very happy, but it's better than making a bad decision. I mean,
Definitely.
if you're going to cut bait and you're going to lose a couple grand and you can still sleep at night, then lose a couple grand and go sleep at night.
Yeah.
Do not buy something that you think is just a mistake. Never. So that's the question. Hey Jeff, my loan is $250,000 loan, home value of $325,000. Should I refinance into an FHA? No way. No way. The only reason I mentioned in the previous texter going in FHA was because he was up in the high fives with very little equity, and he was in a jumbo loan that would need 20% equity or more. He didn't have it. He was a tweener in there where FHA would still accept him. But if you owe $250 and your house is worth $325, you don't need FHA. You just get a conventional loan. You don't want to pay mortgage insurance. I mean, the rates on FHA are a little bit lower than conventional, but you throw the PMI in there.
Yeah,
it
the
wipes
cost
out.
up front, sure.
You're a great candidate. I don't know what your rate is now at $250. Maybe your rate's just fine, but don't go into FHA just because it's assumable. Or that is a nice side benefit. It is not a motivation to go into FHA. Off the 916, like I said, the text going crazy today. I refinanced with HARP 2.0, saving me much needed cash. I listened to Jeff every Saturday and was curious that fees, what line items can be written off in income tax time. Closing costs were about $8,000. Taxes and prepaid items rolled in. $8,000 is high. Well, if the prepaid's in there, it may not be that bad.
Right.
So what can you write off at tax time on a refinance? I am not a CPA. I believe if you paid some points, I think if you pay the points only on a purchase loan, can you write them off in the year you bought the house? I think you have to amortize the closing costs over the life of the loan. So if you did a 30-year loan and you had $3,000, let's say, you'd take 1/30th of it each year, up until the point in time in which case you either refinanced again or sold it, and then you could roll them all up. Now, for this person here, if you refinanced maybe 4 or 5 years ago, and you've been doing 1/30th of that all the time, you can roll up all those previous costs now and write those off. But that's a good CPA question, and I isn't one. I can't even spell CPA, and that's if you spot me at the C and the A. Off the text line 441140, a pool with a swim-up bar. Now you're getting into my.
Now we're getting there.
You're getting in my thoughts there. I think that if you do it right, a swimming pool,
sunken bar.
Yeah, you sink the bar down to the pool level. You put a couple of those built-in benches there, but your pool has to be big enough, right? That you go swimming, you don't take yourself clean out on one of the benches there, right? So you gotta make it big enough there till you can with the swim-up bar, and that's one of those ideas I think that sounds great,
right? Because
every time you go on vacation, you always want to swim up to the pool bar and have a drink. But will you actually use it at your own house? I don't know. I mean, if you're gonna do kind of a barbecue bar area near the pool anyway, and you're not, you can use it year round, the bar part of it. Then that's kind of what our idea is something that's right by the house so that you can go out and use the barbecue in the bar. Then okay.
Yeah, I think you have a coolness factor that's way cool,
but all you're doing probably there, and I'm talking to myself now, is you're giving your 3 daughters a chance to belly up to the bar with their boyfriends when they get a little older. Are you telling me you wouldn't want to swim up bar in your pool? All you do is talk about how much you drink on the show. Hey, I do not talk about how much I drink on the show. Where are we going tonight? And yes, I would like a pool with a swim up bar. I'm not saying I wouldn't like it. I'm just saying that I'm not sure that it would be like number one on the list that you would get the most use out of it. I mean, I didn't even use the dang hot tub that was separated from the pool. So I spent a lot of time working. I don't even spend time at the pool, but I'm with you. I'm write that number down. 7. I'm going to find that person. We're going to have a couple drinks together.
There you go.
And just because we give away Mix It Up margarita machines and we talk about Hellwig Winery, I don't know what you're getting at. Maybe you should tune into a different show. We mentioned Jim Boy's Talk with one at a time. It's not a problem if you're good at it. I'm Irish. Okay, I'm predisposed to.
It's not your fault, right?
That's right. It's not my fault. I have it in my genes. So I didn't get to, there's 2 things here I was going to talk about. We've got like 2 minutes left. Maybe we'll do this next week too. But I did see 2 conflicting reports, which I think we'll talk about next week. So yesterday, the July consumer sentiment gauge dips to lower than forecast, which basically means that they interview consumers and they say, how do you feel about stuff? And in July, they said, not so great compared to the month before. And yet, in June, credit card usage and personal debt was up 11%, the highest increase for 1 month since 2007. So on one hand, you're saying, I don't feel so good about the economy. On the other hand, you're really living the opposite. You're spending money and using it on your credit cards. So we'll talk about that and see what that means next week as well. That sound, are we down to, do you play the little 2-minute music for us or no? You forgot. See, that's what throws me off. I got to have some kind of, I need some rhythm. Now, see, now he's yelling at my ear, you got 60 seconds. And now, there you see? Oh, that's not even the right, we used to have that dunk-to-dunk-to-dunk. That's what threw me off. I got to have, there's like a routine on the show after 13 years. I got to have something going on here. Anyway, that is it for this Saturday. If you have any questions during the week or you're looking at some options, you can reach myself or John. In fact, if people call in, John and I do kind of split those up a little bit. So 338-9400 is my phone number during the week, 338-9400, or jefftarbell.com. You can like us on the Facebook page. They're running some competition, some contests there for some free giveaway stuff, too, the Talkin Money Facebook page. That was it. Does that mean that usually means I have 2 minutes left, but I don't have 2 minutes left anymore,
about
right?
20 seconds.
Okay, we have 20 seconds. So this is a good thing I'm not a professional, because this would totally throw me off. So 20 seconds means we're basically done.
Right.
So what are you doing tomorrow?
I have no idea.
You rode your bike today, though. It wasn't 150
That's
degrees.
right.
Okay, we got to go. That's it. Hey, we'll see you next Saturday, everybody. Thanks you so much for the participation. This was great. John was even saying today, man, the calls and the texts are going crazy. So
awesome.
we had a great time. We'll see you next Saturday. You can catch me at jefftarbell.com and be cool. We'll see you. Aloha.